it's really interesting because if you trade options on futures, then you can trade at night. And if you have a full-time job, you can still kind of make some profits consistently by just trading at night. And it's a number of members that we have do exactly that. They only trade at night because they have a full-time job. So I want to kind of show you how you can do that. And we're going to be somewhat quick with this pop-up live trading, but it's going to kind of give you an idea on what you can do in the evening times. You can obviously use futures contracts to hedge, and it's really, really clean at night. It's probably the best thing to trade at night is actually the actual futures contracts. But you can trade the stock indexes like the S&P 500, which is the ES here. You can trade the NASDAQ 100, which is the NQ right here. And then you can also trade the Russell 2000, which is this RTY. Those are the stock indexes. Those are what we consider our core type of positions. But you can trade actually anything that has a forward slash on it. If it has a forward slash in front of it, you can trade that at night. That is options on futures, and you can trade them from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Sundays to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays. So it's basically 5/24. It does have some off times, but those times are brief and insignificant. So for example, the market closes at the futures close at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and they open back up at 5 p.m. Actually, Monday through Thursday open up back up at 5 p.m. They do not open obviously on after 4 p.m. on Fridays. So the only day that's really completely no futures trading is on Saturdays. It's on Saturdays. So, all right. So let me show you what you can do when you are trading at night. I'm going to look to trade the ES here. We're going to demonstrate on the TestyWorks platform here. But the ES is the S&P 500. It's just like the SPX, which is the S&P 500 cash settled index that trades only during regular market hours. It's also like the SPY, which is the S&P 500 ETF that trades only in regular market hours. But the same thing is the ES, which trades during after hours and so forth, as we've been talking about, because it's a future. So we had a down market at the end of the day today, and so we are going to look to put on a put spread or skewed iron condor. Please keep your mic on mute for a second. If you have a question, hold on just for a second, and then I would open it up for some questions. But I want to kind of get this through because we're kind of limited on time right now. This is only going to be about 30 minutes. All right, so I'm going to hit clear here. And what we're going to do is, as you can see, you can choose any time frame here. We're going to choose a 45-day time frame right here. And what we're going to do is look at the put spread first, and we're going to be a little bit more careful with this put spread, with the market kind of having a down type of drift over the last 2 weeks. So we're going to go to this 7 delta here. Furthest from at the money, and then we're going to buy 40 points wide to see what that looks like. And I do not like that because it does not meet our criteria of receiving at least $100 after fees and commissions. So instead of a 40 point wide, we're going to try a 60 point wide, see what that gives us, right? So that gives us a little bit more than $100 after fees and commissions, as we're going to see here. And if we did the calculations from how far away from at the money, this is going to be more than 12%, I bet. So what you're going to do is just do what we teach in lesson 3 of course 1. You're going to take the 37.40, which is this short strike, minus what is currently trading at, which is 43.29, divided by what is currently trading at 43.29. That's going to be 13.6%. So we're way more than our requirement of 7%. We're actually a little over 13%, closer to 14% away. So we're going to send this for now and see if we can get filled. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at a trade that we sent out this morning, a yellow highlighted trade. We're going to see if that yellow highlighted trade is still a good trade. A yellow highlighted trade is this is the only one we sent out this morning. Was an RTY. Looked like it was a skewed iron condor. So that's look to see that. You can see that I got this cured up already with 38 days to go. And I'm going to show you what we have on what we're trying to do on the put side. We have a 80-point wide spread. This is 80 points here. The denominator for this is $50 a point. So it's not like $100 with options on stock. This is $50. You have to know the denominator when you're dealing with options on futures. This case it's a 6 delta and it's 80 points wide. And then on the call side here, we are at a 5 delta and it looks like we have a 40-point wide here. Okay, so it's skewed by delta wise and it's skewed by the width of the spread on each side. So this is the trade that we're looking at. This is going to require a lot more buying power, as you can see, than the trade we were just doing. So we're going to kind of see which side is requiring more buying power. So give me 1 second here. And all right, so let's do this. Let's make this. This was a 40-point wide. Let's make it a 20-point wide, and let's go here and let's see what that looks like. So it wasn't the call side that's requiring more buying power. As you can see, this didn't change over here at all. Can you guys hear me? All right, so I just want to make sure I haven't lost it. It seems like this thing is not moving. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I just want to make sure I didn't lose internet connection here. We did not. So now we're going to go and we're going to check this put side and see what happens if we make it from a 80-point wide to, let's say, a 60-point wide. See what happens to the buying power. So the buying power changed there, but it didn't change a lot, right? So that's unfortunate. And then for some reason, nothing is moving over here. That's weird. So I'm thinking I wonder if this buying power is off. If something's off there. Let me go and move this like this here. That is 600 in buying power. I don't want to use a lot of buying power in this. So let's try this. Let me see what this looks like after fees and commissions. That's only 101. We're going to take that back and we're going to move this back to about 20 points. Or we're going to move it to 60. So that's a 60-point wide spread. It's still a decent trade of after fees and commissions. Is something weird going on with this evening on the Tastyworks platform, but we're going to.
The future market closed for like 15 minutes and then reopened. Is that what we're dealing with maybe?
No, that's already passed. That happens at 3:15 Central Standard Time. So it's moving. It's just moving really, really slow, as you can see over here. So I thought it would be a lot more activity right now, but something is wrong with this. It's messing up the buying power. This shouldn't be the case. I don't know what's going on. I had a significant amount of buying power, but it's saying something is wrong with the buying power here, but that doesn't make any sense.
When I'm looking at the call side, it's showing that there's a drastic change in bid-ask spread.
Yeah, something is wrong with that that problem, I guess. I mean, let me see here. Yeah, that's what's happening. You're correct. Who was that?
This is Andy.
Hey, Andy. Yeah, something's going on. Something's going wrong with this right now. And that kind of happens sometime. That's why usually at night I try to wait until 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, because that's when like the Asian markets open up, like China and so forth, and then you get a lot more liquidity at that point. But when it opens up at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, it's usually a lot better than it is right now. I haven't seen it like pause like this. It's like some type of, they just cut off the machines or something. It's weird. But with that said, we're going to look to this ES here, and we're gonna get filled for demonstration purposes. I'm gonna drop this down, and then we're gonna see if we can get filled here. So that's not going to get filled. To try to get filled regardless, and we're gonna go to 120 here, and we're gonna send that. And we just got filled to our chagrin, perhaps, but I wanted to show that you can do this. It's usually really, for the most part, it's still really good to be able to do this, especially on the ES at night. This is something that is a viable option to be able to trade at night. Once again, if you have a full-time job, you can trade exclusively at night. Sometimes you're going to, and this is rare what we're seeing right now, but most of the time, when I'm trading at night doing things, I'm doing it around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, because that's when the Asian markets open up and you get a little bit more liquidity and so forth. And you see things jumping around. Right now, the market was down during the day, and we for some reason, it's not a lot of volatility going on right now. Nothing is really moving, right? So,
Brian, I got a question.
yes.
Frank here. If you open a position at night, say you're talking about 7 p.m., do you close it the same evening, or do you leave it overnight?
So it's the same type of thing you would do, right? I would open only the same type of positions I would do during regular trading hours. So usually it's something I'm going to, be on from 30 to 60 days.
Okay.
And then, it's not like a day trade or something like that. I do but I do, Frank, to answer your question, if I'm doing some type of hedge, like if I'm going to use the micro futures for a hedge, I might hold that just overnight, because maybe I want to protect myself a little bit more, because maybe the market has been going down a lot, or it's been going up too much, and I'm too short, or whatever the case may be. Then yes, I could do something like that overnight. But using the actual futures contracts like this here, this is a micro future. You have the NQ that you can use, which I'm usually short, so I'm short. I'm showing you this here, and then the Russell is the M2.
The question was, do you do it at night because you get better pricing if you're selling, or what is the real advantage other than not being able to trade during the day? So what is the advantage of doing it late?
So the main advantage is that obviously you can't trade during the day, right? And then the second advantage is that you can make some adjustments before the market opens if something is going wrong, right? You can use what I just said, or you can adjust your actual options if you have to, because the market is going crazy. But most of the time, if you don't have if you're able to trade during the regular market hours, then it's more advantageous, more beneficial to do it during that time. But once again, it's a number of members that can only trade at night that's doing really well. So I want to kind of make sure that that's an option to people who are working full time that think they can only trade during the day. That is not true. That's not the case. You can still do it. Tonight is obviously a little bit more rare that things are not moving. It's not moving so badly that I thought we lost internet connection.
That's funny.
Yes. If let's just say, you can see that natural gas has been pretty volatile recently, going up and down. If you wanted to trade this at night, because let's say sometime, you might see something that is really distorted, something, some really big price at night that a lot of times change just before the market opens. You can kind of take advantage of that. You can obviously take advantage of all these different things that have futures on it. With that said, any questions about trading at night? Everyone?
Yeah. Thank you for this. This 5 p.m. thing. It's great. So yeah, I love how you pointed out 7 p.m. because China, Shanghai, Beijing, and Hong Kong are 13 hours ahead. So it's 7 p.m. It's 8 a.m. for them next day. And I was wondering, since you've traded futures for a long time as well, I noticed when I stare at the charts for the volume during over like a 1 week period, I see little spikes between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm wondering if you've ever tried to trade at 2 or 4 o'clock in the morning Central Time. And I'm sure there's some nights in your memory about that, regarding that, but I'm wondering if you've ever done that and maybe found some pattern of liquidity at 4 o'clock in the morning. When I think
Dana, there is a support group
London
for
opens.
There is a support group for you, Dana. Traders Anonymous.
Good one.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah. But at 4 o'clock in the morning, I mean, if I had to get up at 4 to trade, I might do that if I were working
So
outside
yeah,
the.
but you can. That could be your trading, right? So for example, sometimes I have really early morning one-on-ones because it's just the way it has to be sometime, right? So and the liquidity is really good, right? So let's just say around 6 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's you can trade it all the time, right? So you were saying
You're kidding,
four,
really?
yeah, you can 6
6 and
a.m.
7 a.m. Okay,
Yes, without a doubt, right?
that's
So
helpful.
yeah, so and I was doing that this morning and it was looking really good. I actually did um, a couple trades this morning.